want us to start the class, and the class is recorded. So I've muted your mics. So I hope you can hear me. If you cannot hear me, write on the public chat so that I can adjust my voice. Today we are going to discuss about safety in working with machines. Remember, we have been talking about machines, workshop machines. We talked about the drilling machines, the grinding machines, the milling machines. We looked at the pictures and how they work, and the procedure of operating them. So today we are going to wind up on that topic, and we will be talking about the safety in working with the machines, workshop machines. So I will straight away start with the safety precautions while using various machines. So we start with moving machines. Moving machinery can cause injuries in many ways. What are the injuries? What are some of the precautions? Why do we want to? Why is it important to take safety precautions when using the workshop machines? What is the importance of taking care of or being sure that you are safe? Now, there are very many injuries. There's several things that make us to be able to ensure that we are safe. Now, because some of the times people can be stuck and injured by moving parts or machines or ejected materials. People can be injured. And when people are working in workshops, people get injured in the workshops. So it is good to know how to work with the machines safely. So parts of the body can also be drawn or trapped between the rollers, belts, pulleys, and drives. So sometimes people have cut their fingers, people have cut their hands, machines have jumped materials have jumped from the machines and entered into people's eyes. So there are a lot of dangers or injuries that are involved when working with machinery. So the sharp edges, another problem or another injury that can be caused by machine is sharp edges can cause cuts and severe injuries. Sharp or pointed parts can cause stabbing or puncture the skin, and round surface parts can cause friction or abrasion. People can be crushed both between parts moving together or towards a fixed part of the machine, wall, or other object. The two parts moving past one another can cause shearing. So the parts of the machine materials and emissions, such as the steam or water, can be hot or cold enough to cause burns or scalds, and electricity can cause electric shock and burns. So injuries can also occur due to the machinery becoming unreliable and developing faults, or when machines are used improperly through the inexperience of lack of training. So these are some of the accidents, these are some of the problems, or these are some of the things that can occur when working with these workshop machines. So a question comes now: how should someone behave when you are in the workshop? What are some of the things that you should do before you start using the machines? So before you start using the machines, you need to think about what risk may occur and how this can be managed. You should therefore be doing the following. Number one, check that the machine is complete with all safeguards fitted and free from defects. The term safeguarding includes guards, interlocks, two-hand control, light guards, pressure sensitive mats. All these are things that make sure that the machine is guarded. Sometimes some of the machines are guarded with even metal blocks or metallic boards, so that it can prevent the spikes or the pieces of the material from getting into somebody's eyes or in contact with the person. By the law, the supplier must provide the right safeguards and inform buyers of any risks or residual risks that users need to be aware of and manage, because they could not be designed out. Now, another thing that you need to do is to produce a safe system of work for using and maintaining the machine. Maintenance may require the inspection of critical features where deterioration would cause a risk. Also, look at the residual risks identified by the manufacturer in the information instruction provided with the machine and make sure that they are included in the safety system work. Those are some of the important things that you need to do. Another one, you have to ensure that every static machines, these are machines that are stationary, machines that are not moving. Every static machine has been installed properly and is stable, usually fixed down. Now, for example, things like posho mills, when these machines are being installed, they are normally fixed down, that is to the floor, so that they cannot move or vibrate. And then another thing that should be done is to choose the right machine for the job and do not put machines where customers or visitors may be exposed to risk. The machines are put in their designated rooms, and the rooms must be marked clearly for people to be aware that it is a risk area. Another thing is to choose the right machine for the job and do not put machines where customers or visitors may be exposed to risk. And then the new machine should be CE marked and supplied with a declaration confirmation of the instruction in English. And then another one is safe for any work that make sure that the machine is safe for any work that has to be done when setting up. Now, during normal use, when clearing blockages, when carrying other repairs or breakdowns, taking any action or removing blockages, clean and adjust the machine. Another thing is also to make sure that you identify the ideal and deal with the risks from it. Electric, hydraulic, or pneumatic power supplies, that is badly designed safeguards. These may be inconvenient in the use of or when using them. So those are the things that you must do. Someone must do before attempting to use any machine. So what other thing? Now, preventing the access to dangerous parts. How does this happen? Think about how you can make the machine safe. The measures you see to prevent access or dangerous parts should be in the following order. In some cases, it may be necessary to use a combination of these measures. So some use fixed guards, e.g., secured with screws or nuts and bolts to enclose the dangerous parts. Whenever practical, use the best material for these guards. Plastic may be easy to see through, but may easily be damaged. And then another thing is, if fixed guards are not practical, use other methods like interlocks. Make sure you use other methods like interlocks. The guard, so that the machine cannot start before the guard is closed and cannot be opened while the machine is still moving. So in some cases, trip systems such as the photoelectric devices, pressure sensitive mats, or automatic guards may be used in other guards if other guards are not practical. So where guards cannot give full protection, use jigs, holders, push sticks, etc. if it is practical to do so. Control any remaining risk by providing the operator with the necessary information, instruction, training, supervision, and appropriate safety equipment. So other things that should be considered. What are other things that should be considered when dealing with machines? So another thing is, if the machines are controlled by programmable electronic systems, changes to any programs should be carried out by the competent person. So someone who has the necessary skills, knowledge, and experience to carry out the work safety, keep the record of such changes and check they have been made properly. Ensure control switches are clearly marked to show what they do. Have emergency stop controls wherever necessary, e.g., mushroom, hand push, buttons within each. And then do not let unauthorized, unqualified, or untrained people use machinery. Never allow children to operate or help at machines. Some workers, e.g., new status, young people, or those with disabilities, may be particularly at risk and need instruction and training and supervision all the time. When you get yourself using a new machine, make sure that you are trained. Don't attempt to use any machine without any training. So supervisors must also be properly trained and competent to be effective. They may need extra specific training, and they are recognized course for supervisors. Ensure that the work area around the machine is kept clean and tidy, free from obstructions or slips and strip hazards, and well lit. Now, the do's and the don'ts of machinery safety for workers. The do's. What are the do's? What are the things that you can do? You have to check the machine is well maintained and fit to be used, i.e., appropriate for the job. That one we have already talked about. Those are the things that you must always do before doing anything. Then use the machine properly and in accordance with the manufacturer's instruction. Another thing is to make sure you are wearing an appropriate protective clothing and equipment required for the machine, such as safety glasses, hearing protection, and safety. Another one is don't. You should not use a machine or appliance that has a danger sign or tag attached to it. Danger sign should only be removed by an authorized person who is satisfied that the machine in is process is now safe. So the danger sign is normally very important for people to know that you cannot remove that tag because it warns somebody of danger. Another one is wear dangling chains. You cannot wear dangling chains. You cannot wear chains, loose clothing, rings, or have loose long hair that could get caught up in the moving parts. Another one is distract people who are using machines. You cannot distract people. You are not allowed to distract people who are using the machines because they might lose their sense and get injured. Another one is you are not allowed to remove any safeguards, even if their presence seems to make the job more difficult. So now, what are the safety rules? The safety rules that are needed is these are the very basic safety rules for the shop. And now, number one is eye protection must be worn all the times when in the workshop. This applies regardless if you are working on the machinery or not. Activities others can affect your safety. Another thing is no student is allowed to work in any shop alone. You must at least one person with you. You must work with at least one person. You are not allowed to work alone. If there is an accident, the other person can call for help or come for your aid. Another thing is personal safety is obtain first aid immediately for any injury. Record all the accident injury to the monitor and or the instructor. No matter how insignificant they may seem at that time. Do not operate machinery that you have not been authorized to use. So this will protect both you and the equipment from harm. Only students on the authorized list are permitted to use the workshop. That one is something that is important. Another thing is no pets are allowed in the workshop. Like now, dogs, cats, they are not allowed in the workshop. Pets are a distraction and become a tripping hazard by roaming the shop floor. Dress code. There's also a dress code that needs to be used. Is no open-toed shoes or high heel allowed. To provide secure footing, choose shoes with softer soles and stable platform. Wearing appropriate footwear will help protect feet from falling objects and hot sparks or chips. Another thing is no loose clothing allowed. This includes but is not limited to ties. You're not supposed even to use to use ties which can fly aimlessly and get caught in the machines. You need to use short-sleeved shirts, and then you need to wear welding. When welding, long sleeves are required for protection from arc or flashes. Another one is no shorts. Short dresses or skirts are allowed when working in the metal shop or anywhere in the mat instruction shop, because the bad edges of the freshly cut metal, such as the sheath, stocks, or razor blade wearing long can cut you. So wearing of long pants only protect you and those around you. Additionally, hot chips will burn, cut exposed skin, potentially startling the operator. So remove all jewelry. We have already talked about that. Restrain in all hair. So make sure that your hair is tightly tied so that you don't have loose hairs, including beards that has potential of entanglement with the moving machinery. Weaving of gloves when working in the moving machine is prohibited. So gloves can easily become entangled in the moving machinery and thus are not allowed. So machine maintenance. After we have already known how to work safely with the machines or the safety precautions, now we go to the machine maintenance. How do we maintain the machine? Do not attempt to oil, clean, or adjust or repair a machine while it is running. Performing maintenance on moving machinery exposes you to additional hazards. So make sure that you are very safe by making sure that you don't operate on a running machine. Ensure that all the machine guarding is in place and functioning properly. Inform the monitor if the guarding is damaged or malfunctioned. Another thing is, do not leave machines running unattended. Any machine that is running, make sure that there's somebody there watching the machine. Others may not notice the machine is running and may be injured by moving parts. So do not try to stop the machine with your hand or body. Stopping the machine with your body can result in enlargement with a let the machine come to stop naturally. Number 5, what do you need to do when maintaining? Always keep hands, hair, feet, etc. clear of all moving machinery at all times. So beware of all moving parts, especially cutting tools and chunks. Number 6 is remove keys, chuck keys, wrenches, and other tools from machines. After making adjustments, chuck keys left in the chuck when the machine stands to become a dangerous flying object. So another thing is listen to the machines. If something does not sound right, shut it down. If the machine sounds abnormally to you, it probably is not operating properly. So inform the shop monitor for the problems. That is the attendant of the machine. Another thing is never use compressed air for clearing machinery. These will embed particulars into the precision machine parts and will drastically reduce the life of the machine. So use of supplied chips, brushes, the rags to clean machinery. Another thing is never use compressed air to clean your clothes or any parts of your body. Particles can become embedded in the skin or eyes. So in extreme cases, air can be introduced into the bloodstream. Now, work practices. What are the practices that we need to be used to? Now, double check that the tooling and work pieces are properly supported and clamped prior to starting the machine. Heavy or unwieldy work pieces often require special support structures to machine safety. So ask for help if you are unsure if your work piece requires additional support. Another thing is ask for help when moving awkward or heavy objects. Those are the practices that we need to have. Working with another person, only one person should operate the machine. Do not lean against the machine. It is poor etiquette. If you need to rest, grab a chair. So you don't lean next to the machine because the machine can rub you. So do not talk unnecessarily when operating the machine. Do not talk to others while they are operating the machine. Do not become a distraction to others. Concentrate on the work and the machine at all times. So it only takes a moment for an accident to occur. I think if you must talk, turn if you must talk, turn off the machine. Be sure you have sufficient light to see clearly when performing any job. So, well-lit workplaces are more safer and less straining. Another thing is, if you do not know how to do something, ask. Do not engage in any activity that may have unusual risk. Trust your judgment. Check with any activity that may have unusual risk. So now another thing is excessively loud music is prohibited. You don't need a lot of music in a workshop. Now you need to hear protection operation of the machine and be able to have a conversation. Now the shop cleanliness rules. What are the cleanliness rules? Keep the floors free of sawdust, oil, grease, because the grease can or oil can make you fall, or any other liquid. Clean up split liquids immediately. They are sleeping hazards. Another thing is store materials in use away that they cannot become tripping hazards. Immediately return all excess materials to its proper storage place. Put tools away when not in use. This prevents loss of tools and also makes them available to others. Place all crap in crap containers. That is all litter that may be around. Then stop work 10 minutes prior to the time you need to leave the shop. This will provide ample time to clean and replace tools to their home or to their places. Okay, then keep the shop clean at all times. It is all our responsibility to keep the shop clean. There is no excuse for a cluttered or messy workplace. So if your workplace is cluttered, then you are working too fast. Slow down. Know this. You will not anger someone if you clean up after them. In fact, you will likely do the same for you. Work rules and safety consideration. Now, work rules is now workshop safety is everyone's responsibility. The following are the rules that have to be in place to ensure that the workshop is the safety of all students and staff. So this is now for the school workshop. Please read the safety rules carefully before entering the workshop. Now, students affected by drugs or alcohol are prohibited from the workshop. So when a drug addict, you are not allowed to get into the workshop. The students with any health problems that may affect the workplace, e.g., medication, epileptic fits, must report these conditions to the workshop staff. Another thing is notify the workshop staff of your arrival. No food or drinks in the workshop. Wear the correct protective equipment for the tools you are using, like the dust coat, like the safety boots, like the goggles. All chemicals, e.g., glues, paints, must be checked through. Immediately notify the workshop supervisor of any faulty or broken equipment. Ask how to use the tools safely. Make sure your workpiece is fixed securely before work commences. That is, keep lids up off the floor. These are the safety precautions in the workshop. So in the keep clear of any persons operating tools, machinery, that is the bumping and operation to get entangled. Do not talk to anyone operating electrical equipment or machinery. Keep your work area tidy. Another one is clean up any spills immediately. Wash hands after using equipment and materials. And then ensure the safety in the workshop. When entering the workshop, pick up your hearing and eye protectors and immediately report to the workshop supervisor when existing when exiting the workshop. Another thing is to check that any tools you have been using have been put away in an appropriate spot and clean up. Then clothing and footwear is the same as what we had said, is that safety glasses and hearing protection need to be used. Students that wear glasses should be aware that these are not safety glasses. They are only impact resistance and may shatter. Another one is all loose clothing, e.g. shirts hanging out, must be tucked in. Another one is safety boots or enclosed shoes must be worn in the workshop. Do not enter under any circumstance without this footwear. Another one is long hair has to be tied up, including fringes. Another one is remove rings. This one we have talked about. Behavior. Now, fooling around the practical jokes in the workshop will not be tolerated. These students will be told to leave. First aid. What are the first? All accidents and cuts and abrasions must be reported before leaving the workshop. If an accident does happen, no matter how small, it must be reported to the workshop staff and an accident report form filled out. Fires and other emergencies. Think before reacting to any emergency in the workshop. Ensure you are reacting safely before you assist in an emergency. Do not attempt to fight any fire unless you have been trained to do so. Machinery usage. When students are operating machinery, all other students are to stay clear and not talk to the operator. All the machinery that the students are not allowed to operate include, we don't need to use the drop saws, the sack panel band saw, the thicknessers, the bench rip saw, the lathes, the pressure testing machines, milling machines, plastic machines. You can only use these machines in the presence of your teachers. And then we have the circular saws, the laser tools to be used only under strict supervision include the router and the trimmer. All the other tools may be used by students as long as they have been inducted to the workshop and have been tested and been tested in their capability to use them. So records are kept as to which tools each student can operate. So students are not permitted in the office of the workshop. If the tools are required, ask the work supervisor. So those are some of the regulations. Today we are talking about workshop safety, how to use the tool safety, how to keep yourself, how to dress, what not to do or what to do in the workshop. So we are going to go to the next and final slide. But before we get to it, I want us to. We will be talking about now the dangerous parts of the machine. We'll be going to details of these specific machines and which parts exactly. We have been talking about the machines in general, but now we are going to go into the details of how these parts are safe. So we are going to break up. Grace, I'm seeing you're the only one remaining there. Don't know where others went today. We're going to break up for the next 40 minutes. We're going to a discussion. And then we'll come back at exactly 9:50. We'll come back at 9:50 to finish this final slide. So we are going to the discussion. Go to the portal and start the discussion there. Grace.